Hi, I'm Colin Kinsella, President of North America, Digitas, here at the New Front 2011. The concept of New Front is very straightforward. Digitas is an agency in marketing brands, marketing on behalf of our brands to consumers. Content is becoming an ever important piece of value, if you will, between what the brand can offer and what the consumer might want. This conference is all about, this forum is all about bringing content creators, because there are specialists in creating content. Digitas doesn't always have the content creation capacity that so many others do. And so our job is to help our clients tap into the incredible skill sets that exist in the marketplace and bring them on their behalf. But Digitas knows the brand better than anybody. And it's that connection that Digitas sits in between the content creators and the brand and crafts completely new and different and exciting programs that add tons of value to consumers and bring the brand's real value to them. And last year, one of our classic examples was Real Women of Philadelphia. And it was Philadelphia cream cheese is a business that, you know, it's not that exciting of a business, not that exciting of a product, and yet we married that product with Paula Deen, who's a phenomenal cook and has a great following, and we got other women who knew Paula Deen to participate and start cooking with Philadelphia cream cheese, and they started within their own communities sharing ideas about Philadelphia cream cheese, and clearly we put a bigger program around it, so there was an end benefit to participating in meeting Paula Deen and going to Savannah, Georgia and having a national kind of a bake-off. But the real key was us trying to find other ways to make Philadelphia cream cheese a part of people's lives. So content marketing to me, if you think about what the role of brands is, what the role of a brand is in marketing, it is to provide value to the consumer. So as we at Digitas, we think, what does the consumer want from this brand? Or what should they expect from this brand? As opposed to just getting messages at them, anybody can do that, and that is very kind of old school. You look at and you say, my product has these attributes, my competitor has those attributes, I'm going to take the attribute that's different and tell consumers how I'm different. What's happening now is we've said to our clients, think about it completely differently. What's the consumer want and what would they find of value? And value has many different currencies. It could be entertainment, it could be a white paper, it could be a piece of news, it could be a coupon, it could be something about loyalty, it's anything in there, and that's all content. So then it's what content is the most meaningful. And so content marketing, we've got, you have a brand now with consumers, with social media. You need a conversation calendar that lasts 365 days. It's different pieces of content at different places, and you're not just telling a story, you're telling multiple stories within that stream. You need different content all the time. And so content marketing is very much how do you take your owned media, your properties that you own, that you create, and put them out into the marketplace, adding value to consumers and earning their love of your brand and then their ability to share. And that's how we get from owned to earned media, and then we leverage paid media to accelerate that. We don't start with, hey, what could we buy and what content can we get for free? It's much more, what's the consumer want? What can the brand offer? And what are those pieces of value that we can create? What we call audience design, and it's probably the most important thing that we do at Digitas for our clients. There's two different kinds of social media out there, or social relationships. One is your friends, and we don't necessarily feel that what your friends are doing is really the place for marketers to explore. It's the social media around passion points. So for a Philadelphia cream cheese, people are really into cooking. And so you find those places where people go to see what's going on with cooking. You could sell a bicycle. There are people that are really into bicycles. There are people really into financial services. There are people there are so many different passion points that whatever product you have, you tap into that passion point, and there is where you start to build your community. Then what happens is as that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you start to have people that are kind of interested in cooking, and they see the paid media, they then go and they're like, oh my gosh, look at this community, it's so robust. But if you advertised it too soon, they'd go to a community that wasn't that robust. So our notion is with audience design is building up the audiences slowly, more specifically to what that core passionate audience wants, and that's how you build a brand. This is the hardest thing happening within brands right now. If somebody asks me what the biggest disruption is, it's this. Everybody used to think in campaigns. You'd launch a campaign on TV, you've got your TV runs for 3 months, your print runs for 6 months, you got radio in there, and then you're done, and then you think for the next 6 months and you do another one. And now, like, people are following this thing with Paula Deen and Philadelphia cream cheese, and they go there every day or every week, and that can't end for them. So as brands, we now have to start saying, what's the platform idea? You can't have too many platform ideas because you need so much content to keep it going. And through these passion points, you have to keep it fresh. And you almost need the discipline of a broadcaster now versus before, where you just needed an idea. And so now we have to stay in it. Like, we have to keep building the story. We have to keep making it new, but not so new that people who come in late don't get it. And we have to have season 2, season 3, season 4. And that's very different. Our clients are not set up that way. And we as agencies are becoming set up that way. We're reorganizing within Digitas to be that kind of an agency. But this is where content providers on the outside are invaluable, because their mindset is a broadcast mindset. The publishers now are incredibly creative. They partner with us well out into campaigns. There isn't one publisher that I can think of that is just trying to sell impressions. They are all trying to create a relationship between us, Digitas, our brands, and the consumers. And there's no right way or wrong way for any of this. It's like all chemistry. It's a piece of this, a bit of this, a bit of this, a bit of this. And for us, every brand is different. Some brands you need to generate awareness first and then get consumers interested. Some, like I talked about, you go with small passion points and you bring it forward in another way. And publishers have been invaluable in our ability to figure out where to start, where to push the trigger, how much faster to go, or how much more to spend in certain places to accelerate it. We just announced a mobile relationship with Google to get first looks at insights on what's happening within devices, leveraging our ability on the data side and our clients' data to really start figuring out what people expect when they go to their phone versus what they expect when they go to their PC. Their PC is now becoming more like, I want to learn something. Phone is becoming much more about, I want to do something. And it's partnerships like ours and Google that help us figure out what works best and what kind of content, mobile-ready content, is needed to drive either a transaction or offer a piece of value to somebody. Maybe it's like if I'm in Best Buy or something, you offer me very quickly, I'm going to click on it, make sure that's the right Samsung TV, here's the price point. The things that we know are going to be of value depending on where you are from a location-based perspective. All of the partners, and we've got really deep partnerships with Microsoft, incredible partnerships with Facebook, CNN, New York Times, all of them. Much more connected than they've been in the past, I think. Sales is it. I mean, honestly, if our clients aren't doing well, we're not doing well. If what we're experimenting in isn't resulting in their sales doing better, they will stop experimenting in it. So everything is really about sales, and we've built a huge data and analytics organization within Digitas to figure out what's working and what's not working. But there are definitely other things that are harder to determine a direct kind of correlation between what we're doing and a sale. And within that, I think it's consumer feedback, it's engagement, it's how many people we're sharing. The Small Business Saturday that Susan Popper talked about today is very much, we had 1.5 million people like the program on Facebook in the first 3 to 4 weeks. Fastest ever growth on a Small Business Saturday for American Express. Fastest growth of any brand in a 1 month period was Small Business Saturday. So we then determined what the ROI was of that program, but there are things like that you realize, wow, you hit a trigger there, that's positive. Whether or not, and it ended up being positive from a sales perspective too, but those are the kind of things that, if you go into, you compare your Facebook likes from one, within a category, from one brand to another, if you have twice as many likes, that feels more positive. If you're twice as high in the category for your brand, that feels more positive. The ROI becomes harder to figure out, but there are definitely other things that we're looking at to help determine if we're in the right place, we're striking the right chord with consumers. Click-through matters, because if I'm getting more click-through this year than I am last year, then probably my message is resonating in some level better than it used to. So figuring out where that click-through leads, we have tons of different models to help us do that. The original question was more about what else do you look at that could be a measure of success besides what you're doing from a sales perspective. Say sales are flat, what else was out there that could be interesting that says, hey, we're on to something, but we weren't able to convert it. But I do think that consumers seeing your entire advertisement is incredibly helpful. And if we can correlate, and we have been able to, very much, like person saw this ad, this one, and this one, then saw a complete 15-second video, and they purchased, we know that that pathing is great, and so if they don't see the whole video and it's lower, we'd have to try to find ways to get them to watch the whole thing. Change the video, add a different kind of mnemonic, whatever those things might be.